Hey guys, so today you and I are going to talk about making good decisions. So let's get into it. So the question in question was, "Hi Frederick, I was told this week uh, that my colleague and I will be making much of the decisions related to a new app that we will be launching. Everything from state management to helping our juniors to choose the correct stack, etc. I was also told that all eyes were on this team. While this is flattering, I got to admit that I haven't gotten to the point in my career where I fully grasp scalability of React applications. I went through your Fmail app and recently and watched your videos and took notes to understand your decision-making process. I was wondering if you had any advice on what resources to look into and what to read to get better at this." I wish I had a better answer for you than no. That is like the one thing, apart from having poor audio quality on my videos, making weird GIFs and all this other good stuff that my channel does that I do not know if somebody else does. I've heard a few names here like tossed around, like I've checked them out and I kind of immediately spot that yeah, there's some resemblance of the thing that you're looking for, but not it's not nearly in my opinion at the very least, this thing that I try to do. I got a very nice comment yesterday which I thought was amazing. I'm see if I can find it. Thank you for this awesome channel. Finally someone who treats YouTube development advice as a side hobby and not as a channel to hook other people hook for some course, like 95% of the YouTube channels. So that is the fundamental problem that you're facing off against. You have to understand something, I think, very quick, and you probably are. If you found my channel and you're watching this stuff on a regular basis, it's most likely because I hope at the very least you've realized that this is just a hobby for me. This is where I literally just give away everything that I learn as a software developer, completely for free. I'm not making any money out of any of this. It's non-profit as it can possibly be. That is not the case for 95, I would say 99% of the content that you could find on the internet. I've never actually found anybody who does this ever. I've never seen it, and I've tried to find it, because I mean, the thing that I really enjoy about tech talks, or something that I look for in tech talks, which is really, really hard to find, it's listening to experienced seniors. Not when they're trying to sell a product, not when they're trying to pitch something that they're going to get consultancy hours for or something like that, and just like war stories or insights, learnings, and so forth. These things you can find in blogs and so forth, in the newsletters if you want to look at that sort of thing. But understanding how a person thinks, or like what decision-making process they have and so forth, nobody's really doing that. As I said, apart from the few videos that I've made in that area, and of course these vloggy videos that I make. So if you are put in a position now where you're going to have to do scalability, you're going to have to basically accept that you can only do as well as you can. That's the only thing you can do. And because unfortunately the job that you are given is one that only works with experience. And if you don't have experience, the next best thing for you is to either find somebody who can coach you and share their thought process, which, as I said, is practically impossible. It's the main reason I started this channel, because when I was you, or like when I was in school, I couldn't find it either. So I started doing it. And apart from that, just accept that you can only do as well as you can. And you're sure, they tell you that all eyes are on you, but at the end of the day, that doesn't matter all that much, because if they are putting you in a position where you're supposed to scale like a React project or something like that, and you feel like you are unequipped to do that, well, that's something that you should communicate, in my opinion, at the very least, because that's you being a good, that's you being transparent, which is a good thing. But on the other hand, if they feel like you are the right person to do this, you already have some experience and you know how to build things and so forth, then don't worry so much about making this thing like quote unquote a scalable solution. Just do a really good job. Try your best to do a good job. Because even if you don't make all the right moves, because trust me guys, no one makes all the right moves. Even if you think that, say, take myself for an example, do you have any idea how many times I've fucked up something? Even today, even just a few days ago, it's not like just because you reach a certain level in your career then you're not going to make any more mistakes. You're always going to make mistakes and you're going to learn from them. You make less mistakes and you get better solutions the more experience you get. But at the end of the day, you are where you are in your career, and it doesn't actually matter if you make a system that follows all of the holy rules of Kent Beck or whoever, or Martin Fowler or Uncle Bob or whoever you're listening to, right? That doesn't matter. What matters is that you created a solution that works. That's it. Because code is this is the thing that's beautiful about code, in a sense. Code is always code. It can always change. And I can tell you, from my own experience, working these days, I took over, I got a system, handed to me a second-hand code base, which was absolute shit, to be frank, in terms of quality and good practices and stuff like that. It was at best, as we like to say, a hackathon project where someone hacks this together in an afternoon, or well, technically not an afternoon because they developed this over quite some time. And so the company identifies that there are severe performance issues, severe problems, severe things that are not working so well with this system. And so they hire me, and I hire some people, and then our job becomes to fix this, quote unquote, the mess, right? And if you can do if you can do a good job and just ship that thing, what you have to realize is that you can always look back and fix it later when you have more experience, or somebody else can come in and fix it. As long as you don't, as long as you're trying your best, just accept that is going to be good enough. Just as a junior software developer who's trying out to just learn how to code can only do as well as they can, and try to be humble enough to learn from their experiences and just keep on pushing. You're in the same position now, my friend. Because trust me when I say this, if you want to be a senior level software developer, a tech lead, or a architect or something like that, it's the same deal. Every tech lead, every single guru on the entire phase, in all of IT, has at some point had to have that first architect meeting or that first stakeholder meeting where they're taking requirements and stuff like that. And this is yours. So if I can give you any pieces of advice, it is really to just look at this as a learning opportunity. And sure, in terms of resources, I have tons of videos if you want to look at I think it's called the boring server-side thing, and then I have some stuff about how to structure node projects, and my thoughts on how to structure npm package using a centralized coding solution where you use everything is an npm package, or things like that. So I have a bunch of videos that you can look at for inspiration, but at the end of the day, the thing that you're facing off against is something that comes with experience, and if you don't have that experience, you just do as well as you can. So what I want you to take away from this is that unfortunately I don't know of any resources you can use in order to become more experienced. There are many resources that you can learn from when it comes to just learning tips and tricks or learning about tooling, things like that, but unfortunately I feel like the thing that I try to make these videos about is very underrepresented in the IT community, because at the end of the day there's always a favor. Either everything is about teaching complete beginners how to do the basics of coding, which is where the money is, of course. Well, one part of the money, and the other one is to sell products or digital solutions or patterns and things like that to the corporations and the companies, because that's what the tech talks are mostly about, and recruitment and stuff like that. But there's unfortunately not much in terms of the in-betweeners. For the in-betweeners, the people are just trying to figure out, how do I become a good senior software developer or an experienced developer? What does a good solution look like? Things like that. There are blogs, there are newsletters, and I'm pretty sure you're already subscribing to that. My channel, I try to add as much as that as possible, and if you can't find it here, maybe someone on the comment section can give you more tips. But I urge you to do this one thing. Look at this as a learning opportunity. Realize that try to just keep things simple. Try to make them understandable to the juniors, and just make sure that you're not overcomplicating things. And by just doing that, you are going to learn tons from this experience. And remember, guys, just because you make a few mistakes along the way, that doesn't mean that it's the end of the world, because you can always go back and fix things, or the company can hire someone who is more experienced to come in and fix things. Just make sure that you're transparent and keep things simple, and I promise you, you will do more good than you could possibly do if you were over-engineering things or trying to use all the best practices. Have a great day.